Good morning. It's morning where I am. Excuse me, it is a cold, wet day here in beautiful Australia. I hope you are well. Let me know in the comments where you are in the world. Gosh, I'm cold. Good morning, my darling. Welcome to my weekly check-in. Whether you are at home folding up the laundry or trying to wrangle your kids and get ready to get in or out of the house, or whether you have had a really tough week and you are crying in the shower, you have arrived in the right place. This space is for you. My name is Debbi Carberry. I made this space for the difficult moments, for the devastating moments, and sometimes for the moments that just freeze us and we don't know what to do next. But I also make a space at my table for laughter and fun and enjoying some of life's weird ups and downs. Nothing is off limits here. We talk about everything to do with relationships, the relationship to yourself, to your partner if you have one, to your ex-partner if you have one, to your kids, your parents, your family, your friends. We're all about relationships here. So I know that you have a million things that you need to do. We're going to have one of those mornings, but I have some of this. So I know you've got a lot on your plate and you're juggling lots of things. So we always start with just a little bit of slowing down, deep breath in and out. And let's take the next 10 seconds to check in. How are you doing today? Out of 10, 0. Debbi, I am absolutely top of the pops. Couldn't be better. 2, 10. Life is a bugaboo. And it's not been a great week. So just check in with yourself and see where you are at. Let me know in the comments. Sarah, you're at a 7. Yeah. Oh, Mary, you're at a 3. Hi, Janet. Nice to meet you and see you. I this week am probably, actually by yesterday, I think I was sitting at about a 1 or 2. Yesterday I plummeted down. I plummeted down to probably up actually to about an 8. That's what happens when you watch the world's news for too long. So generally I've had a fairly good week. And I guess, for me this week something shifted. This year has been really challenging. Like I was saying a second ago, world news I have found deeply challenging. Deeply distressing at times, what's going on globally. And so I found it a bit kind of muddy and challenging and difficult. And so I have pulled back from watching it, not taking my eyes off it, but just not being so focused on it. And trying to get into a rhythm this year has been hard for me. Like I have really struggled to just get a pace going. And it's been frustrating. It's been irritating and frustrating mostly. But this week something shifted, thank goodness, because honestly, I was really fed up with the grind that I was feeling. Don't know about you a lot, but have you felt a bit grindy this year? Like things just don't seem to be getting momentum. Things seem really challenging and jarring. So when things like that happen for me, when I get into that space where I feel like it is just difficult to keep going, it doesn't feel like I'm getting where I want to go. I don't feel like I have a clear purpose or a clear destination with things. I try to just keep showing up. I try to just go, okay, well, we'll just keep moving in the right direction, one tiny incremental step forward. And I tell this to my ladies all the time, just keep moving forward, just keep doing the very next right thing. We're looking for success, and success sometimes is literally just showing up. Hello, my darlings, it's good to see you all. And yeah, I agree with you, Sarah. It's just been a bit of a grindy kind of year. So for me, my shift didn't come overnight. We're now at the end of August. It has taken some time for me to start to see a bit of momentum, to start to see moving in a direction and feeling like I'm getting where I need to go. And what was the shift? Well, I can't really tell you what exactly it was. It was more that I just told myself, like, just keep showing up, just keep showing up, just keep arriving and doing what you can do and making sure that you keep showing up. And so I did. That's what I kept doing, just showing up and doing my very, very best. And I think we've got a bit of a troll. So that's always fun, isn't it? So I'm just removing the troll. They say you've made it when you get a troll. I don't know about that. But anyway, so moving forward, showing up, doing the thing like this, like coming on here and doing this. It's not the easiest thing to do, I've got to admit. I find myself sometimes a bit bewildered by what I'm doing. But I keep showing up knowing that this is what I want to do. I want to serve women who are struggling, when relationships have ended, or a partner's had an affair and they are in a very painful, challenging, difficult, distressing place. And that is really purposeful for me. That feels good for me. So I've been working on getting my video series written and preparing myself to do these series and getting into a rhythm with how I do them, and that's felt really good. I made the decision this week that I would actually start my farm stand, which I floated with people close to me probably about 12 months ago, and the response was really tepid. It's kind of like, oh, that's interesting. Why would you do that? And I just withdrew from it and felt uncomfortable about it and was kind of like, gosh, I don't know if I'll do that now. But it brings me joy. And so, deciding, making a firm decision, I'm doing this, like I'm going to do it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't matter to me. It's more about showing up and doing it. I love flowers. I love the garden. I love healthy organic produce, and I love making really healthy food from it, nutrient rich and dense food that's good for our minds and our bodies. So I made that decision, and with just showing up and being patient and having plenty of false starts, I've managed to move forward this year. Prepping the seeds, buying the seeds, bringing them in, having my gorgeous ladies tell me about them from my membership. They tell me about, well, try this seed or try that seed. And it excites me and makes me feel part of a really strong community of women who just see me as I am and like me for who I am and don't expect anything more from me. And that's valuable. Like, that is so, so valuable. And I'm so grateful to have that. So, this year, if it's been grindy for you, let me know. If you're finding that you're walking through mud and you're not getting where you need to be, let me know. If it seems for some of you that you get through one disaster and another pops up, and you get through that and another pops up, and then another and another and another, let me know in the comments, because I get it. I truly do get it. It can be just impossible. And I feel like it's taken me the best part of 8 months to just get a little bit of rhythm into my life, and it isn't perfect. It's still a hot mess. Not perfect, not everything is now working fine, but more that I'm just continuing to move forward. So, Mary, I feel like I'm on a roller coaster. Yeah. And, that feeling isn't nice. There are times when you're on a roller coaster that life feels bloody terrifying. As you're going to do the loop. Usually for me, that's enough to cause me to have absolute all of the fear in the world rolling around inside of me. When it feels out of control and too fast and too scary, that can be a horrible feeling. Some people like that. Not me. I don't like the chaos very much. And Sarah, yeah, you've been isolating. And I think that, when I work with women, these are some of the things that come up, that, when life gets hard, instead of doubling down and making sure that we are there for ourselves, that we're doing our self-care, that we're reaching out and connecting with people. And those are really the antidotes, right? Those are the things that keep us going, help us feel like we're going to get through it, make us feel like we can cope. We tend to pull back and withdraw, especially if, depending on your attachment style, it can be really hard to ask for help or show vulnerability or tell people that you're struggling if you've had a certain kind of attachment style, which I have, and I do get it, truly, I do. But it's in those moments, I think, we have to really push ourselves to show up for ourselves. Make sure you're doing your self-care. Make sure you're reaching out to at least one person. Make sure you're staying connected in really tiny bite-sized ways, if you possibly can. Rachel, you've been through the mud, but life is stabilizing again. Yeah, and I think I was talking about this with my members a couple of weeks ago. It'll be exciting. And I think we have to remind ourselves that maybe that isn't the case. Maybe life is really hard. Maybe we are here to just work through the stuff and get to where we want to go, and we just need to keep showing up. And maybe that's what it's about. I think about all of the big events in my life. Yesterday my son was chatting away to me about what was going on in his life, and he sent me a photograph. Just took my breath away. It was a picture of him when he was 4. He just had his 3rd open heart surgery, and I don't know where he got the photograph from. I was kind of stunned that he had this photograph. I was like, where did you get that from? But it absolutely threw me back in time to a time and place that was just hell on earth. He'd had his 4th open heart surgery, and I just didn't know if I could get through another one. I just thought, I don't know if I can. And yet, of course, I'm his mum, so I need to show up, and I need to be there, and I need to remind myself that it's not about me, it's about him. And I've got to push through, and I've got to advocate for him. And I was a single mum back then, and that was really hard. I had 4 kids. It was a very challenging time in my life, and I couldn't have gotten through it if I didn't just keep showing up. So I guess, and of course that stirred up all sorts of things inside of me and reminded me of all sorts of crazy things, as it is wont to do. I guess, it's important to remember and remind ourselves of that this moment will pass, whether we like it or not. I think about all the amazing moments and the joyful moments and the times when I've laughed until I've nearly cried, or I have fully cried. And I don't want those moments to pass, and yet they do. So, questions for this week, my darlings. Where in your life are you still wanting things to take root? What are you thinking? Gosh, this is taking a long time, or this is challenging, or I've lost my direction and I don't feel like things are taking root in my life. Is there anything specifically right now that you are struggling with, or that maybe you've started to feel that the roots are started going in the ground and you're starting to get on a more steady footing? Let me know in the comments. And also, what do you do in the messy middle, when the rhythm hasn't clicked in? Sarah's talking about isolating, and I was talking to my members talk to me about, self-care drops off completely, and they stop doing the things that they know help because it just feels too hard. So how do you stay inside of that messy middle before things click in? And for me, it is literally just keep showing up, Debbie. And that's what I do. It's like this bloody YouTube channel. When I don't know, I'm like, I don't know if this is working. I don't know if this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know if this is purposeful. And then I just go, you know what, Debbie, keep showing up. Because one person somewhere might just hear one thing, and that thing might really be life-changing. I remember running a workshop. I used to I've run lots of workshops, but one called Learn to Love. And about 3 years after I'd done my first one, a woman had joined that workshop, and all my workshops were free. And this particular workshop, she had paid to come and do a little bit extra with us at the end. And usually people have lots of questions and want to, how do I get through what's going on in my marriage, or my partner's left me, or my adult kids just hate me and they don't want to be my friend anymore, or millions of different things, maybe health questions, all sorts of things. But this one woman, so it was her turn, and I was like, and I recognized her name. I was like, I know who you are. I've seen you somewhere before. And she said, oh, I just wanted to let you know that when I saw you 3 years ago, I was at a really low point, and you really were the difference that made me keep going, because I was ready to give up. I'd had enough, and I just thought, I can't keep doing this. And I was seriously just like, okay, this is the end for me. And I was just absolutely taken aback that she had come to tell me that. And so for me, I try and remind myself of that. When I'm in the messy middle, I try and remind myself there's purpose to this, even if you think there's not. Maybe somebody needs to hear something today, and maybe you reach them. Maybe when you're talking to this bloody camera in your office and it feels soulless and challenging and difficult, maybe you can't see yet the fact that something positive will come from this. And so I try and just keep showing up. And it's not easy being in that middle part of things where the rhythm hasn't clicked in and you're not really certain. Sometimes we just have to keep showing up. I struggle with complicated grief. that I've rode all the waves, not got through the worst, but another one comes to hit me and get annoyed at myself. And yeah, I understand, Kit. I think for some of us, and I agree with you, this year has been brutal. You know, you kind of, if you're in the ocean bobbing around and you finally catch your breath and here comes another bloody wave, and it's like, you got to be having an absolute length. There's no way I can take another hit. I'm just exhausted. I just can't. And the thing that stuns me about the human condition is we can though, and we do though. You know, women absolutely just stun me on a daily basis. You know, women who are on their knees, who are just cannot, I cannot, I cannot, I cannot, and they do. And somewhere inside them, there's a little tiny voice that says, just keep going, just keep showing up, just keep doing the work, which is what I say to women a lot of times, just do the work. And one says to me, what does that mean? And it's just don't give up. Sometimes that is standing still. Sometimes that is yelling and screaming and shouting from the rooftops. Sometimes that's the fetal position on the floor, thinking, I can't actually do this, like I actually can't. Sometimes that's crying until your eyes are so puffed up and red. Sometimes it's cartwheeling with joy because you did it, you got there. Do you know what I mean? And so for me, getting to the new rhythm, you know, is planting the seeds. It's finding the soil, it's adding the amendments, it's getting the pots out, and it's the belief that if I plant the seed, if I just plant the seed, it'll grow. And I have to keep watering. I see nothing. I look at the pots some days, I'm like, where are they? Will they come up? The cucumbers are 2 weeks in and nothing's come to the surface. I'm like, it's been raining and cold, which it's not supposed to be. And just like life, you know, it's not supposed to be raining and cold. It's supposed to be sunny and warm as we head towards spring. And yet it's not. And so I just hope, and I plant the seeds and I wait. And I just hope. And then I start to see the dirt move. You know, for those of you who do plant seeds, I can see the top, the surface of the dirt start to just move a bit. And I'm like, oh, there's a seed coming, there's a seed coming. And sometimes seeds don't come. You know, sometimes I'll plant a tray of seeds and they don't come. And I get sad. I'm like, grr. And so what do? I go get some more seeds and I plant some more seeds. Because I think that is how you get through those really difficult moments, and how you find your new rhythm is you just have to keep showing up. You just have to keep doing the very next right thing. And for those of you who get stuck, I hear you. Trust me, I work with women globally. In my membership, when I do workshops, when I do one-on-one sessions, I work with women who are absolutely stuck, saying, I don't know how to move forward or backwards or sideways. I am absolutely stuck. And I work to get them on the right path and going, okay, one teeny tiny little step in the right direction is what you need to do. If you're new to my channel, my name is Debbi Carberry. I am a therapist, I'm a coach, I'm a mum, I'm a partner, and I'm a pain in the ass sometimes, according to the people who love me the most. This YouTube channel is new to me. It's a bit, you know, I'm finding my feet here. I'm showing up here. It would really mean the world to me if you could subscribe to my channel. There's just a button that you hit. It's free of charge. And hit the little notification bell. It tells you when I'm doing lives or when I'm releasing new videos. I'm working on 2 series at the moment. One is After the Affair, which is, you know, looking at what happens when you find out about an affair and the whole process, the psychological, emotional, physiological, financial process of dealing with that painful experience. And I'm also doing my Heartbreak to Healing series, which is very different this time around. So normally my Heartbreak to Healing series is live, and I've decided to record it, and I'm really changing the tone of it quite significantly. Sorry that the mic's a bit crackly, lovely. It shouldn't be. It's all plugged in and doing what it's supposed to be doing. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. So basically, you know, I've got those 2 series coming. I've got another series that I'm working on, which is for single mums, and how to do that. You know, losing a long-term partner is painful, but remaining as a mum can be super challenging. And I'm also going to be working on a midlife series, that transition, you know, when you have your kids are growing up, you're going through perimenopause or menopause, and a relationship ends, and you get the trifecta of pain all in one hit. So I'm doing those series. So please hit the subscribe and notification bell, and that will let you know when things are coming up. Do come and join me for these live chats where I'll take questions. I'm happy to chat with people. I share about my life and what's going on, in the hope that some of that will resonate for you and you will find it helpful. If anybody has a question, pop it into the comments for me and I will answer those now for you. Let's see what's going on. Nature's good for our well-being. It so is good for our well-being. I find being out in nature is so good for me. Growing things and harvesting things. And, you know, I'm all about the gut microbiome, so making your gut really strong and healthy from a really diverse amount of food, 30 different kinds of food every single week, fresh fruit and vegetables. So good to help have a strong microbiome. But what they say in science too is that, getting our hands dirty and in the earth also improves our gut microbiome. So it's not just collecting the flowers or the food or making food with it, fermenting things. I've got some cabbages to collect from the garden. I'm going to ferment them. My members have asked me to do a little garden tour, which I will do. I'm going to do the garden tour soon, but it's a bit miserable out there, so I won't do it while it's miserable. I'll try and wait till the sun comes out, but I will be doing a garden tour soon and showing you all of my beautiful food in the garden and planting. I have a lot of seeds that are waiting because spring is just around the corner. Excuse me, ladies. I'm a little croaky this morning. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So yeah, I love being in the garden. It just brings me so much joy. I've been harvesting peas from the pea trellis, which is covered in peas, and I have a purple one this year, which is just stunning. So yeah, being in the garden is divine. I love it. Sorry, you loved the poem that I did this week. So every Sunday I release a poem, and those poems are poems I have written, usually about my life, about love, about maybe things that have come up with my members. So I talk about life stuff, and this week was about, when we love people, but we hook horns and we wrestle and we fight, and we're trying to find a middle ground, and maybe there isn't a middle ground. Maybe we have to decide that there's not a middle ground and that we just have to move forward regardless of the fact that we can't find a middle ground together. So if you're interested in my poems, they're on my playlist. So on my YouTube channel at the top, there's a little list of playlists. I try and categorize things to make them easier to look for and find. And you'll find my poems are all in there. And I try and release a new poem every single Sunday. I love them. They bring me joy. I started doing them a while ago. And I don't know what's going on, girls. This croakiness, silly. Nothing worse when you're filming something and you're just croaky. I started writing the poems a while ago, very therapeutic. I love doing them. And then I started recording them and adding a little music and a little bit of video to them. And they're from my heart. I'm a fairly simple soul, really. You'll never see me adorning lots of jewelry or looking really flashy. I sit in my cardigan trying to stay warm. So my poems are like that. They're kind of a reflection of my experiences and the things that I see every day. And I'm a bit gritty. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. But if I'm the right person for you, then usually I'm the right person for you and you like me. But if you don't, it's okay. There are millions of people to be connected to and find connection with. So I don't take it too personally if people think that I'm not the person for them. That's okay. So tell me, how are you all going? I'm glad you enjoyed the poem. It's great to have you join me. Of course, when you come and watch these videos, it is super helpful for me if you give me a thumbs up, if you make a comment, if you share this video with people. That really helps me out. Like I said, this is a new venture for me this year. I have really I pivoted this year, which is, I'm 59 and a half and I'm pivoting. And I've always been on other social media channels, but I think that this is the right fit for me. I find it a bit challenging, but I'm sticking at it because this is what I decided to do this year. So my hope is to build the channel up and to have memberships here, have my little shop, only got 2 things in my shop, but I've got my little shop, which is finally working properly. And, you know, I'm adding things to it all the time. So my hope is that I will build more community here, that things will be really helpful for women who come along who are looking for guidance and support and community to help them, you know, get through some of the tough things. Mary, you're so gorgeous. I follow you anyway. You're so delish. And I feel honored. That's the other thing. It's such an honor. Like, a lot of the names that I'm seeing here are women I know who have been in my membership, who are in my membership, who I talk to online. And, you know, we've walked beside each other for a period of time. Usually, you know, most of the women who I work with start working with me when their lives are really hard. You know, when a relationship has ended, when they find out about an affair, when they go through life transitions like menopause, perimenopause, being a single mum, raising adult kids where they just are finding that trip really, really, really significantly challenging. And so, you know, I think it's just really important. Here's another troll. That's really fun, isn't it? So I found a way to make you can put people in a timeout, which is nice, I think. So when people are naughty, they get timed out. I haven't had many trolls on here, so I learned after the first one how to manage the trolls. So I can manage them, but I do have a couple of my members who can also manage naughty people and put them in the naughty corner for a bit. So as we get towards the end of today, if anybody has any questions or comments they'd like to make, please pop them in the chat now. I do this every single Thursday. You can come and ask me questions. Sometimes I'll share what's going on in my life if things are a bit quiet for you guys. Sometimes I do that to give you something to think about and ask you a couple of questions that you can answer now or come back later and answer if you want to. I try and read every single comment that comes in, and I respond to as many as I possibly can. So please know that I try and do that. And again, of course, if you have a question for me right now, pop it into the comments and I will try and answer it for you. Or you can just put in a comment and say hello or how you're going or whatever you need to say, and I will be more than happy to sort of see what you're doing. Of course, if you're a troll, I'm hitting the button that says I can put you in a timeout for a bit. I've had 2 today. That's not usual for me, but maybe it's a good sign, girls. Maybe it's a good sign that I'm getting trolls. Who knows? Today, my plan is to get organized. I have a lot of finishing up of my, I've got to video some of my recording of my series, the 2 series that I'm working on, and in addition to that, preparing, because I've got a little break coming up, which I am so looking forward to. Hi Anita, nice to see you, my darling, from the wet sunny coast. It is wet if you're in Australia. We have had so much rain this season. It hasn't been catastrophic where I am, but I know for many in New South Wales and Australia, it has just been so wet. This season has been so wet. So yeah, it's, you know, the garden loves the rain, not the seedlings so much, but the rest of the garden loves the rain. My winter garden is coming to an end and my spring garden is trying to take off. I had to up pot the sunflowers yesterday. I don't normally do that, but it's so wet I didn't want to put them out just yet, and it's not quite warm enough for them to be in the ground, so I'm holding off putting those in the ground just yet. But yeah, I do. The rain is good for the garden and not always good for the seedlings, and of course it makes life feel a little dreary. It was really wet yesterday, really wet today, so you get what you get with the weather, don't you? We need rain. It's a fact. We do need rain. So my darlings, if you would like to make a comment, pop it in nice and quick. If not to worry at all. I'm back this time next week. Like I said, I've got a bit of a break coming up. I'm really looking forward to going away with my partner just for a couple of days and, you know, taking it easy for a bit, having a rest for a bit, change of location for a bit. Hopefully it will help me with inspiration. It usually does. Having a bit of time out away from my routine can be so beneficial in just helping me, you know, getting my creative juices flowing and getting me back into the rhythm of kind of pumping out more things that I want to share with people. So my fingers are crossed for that. yeah, I hope to have a good time. We'll see how we go. And yeah, I have a lot of video recording to do and writing. I did a whole day, 2 days of writing this week to get things prepped for my video series. So if you are interested in that, if you are a woman who has, found out about an affair and you are struggling with that and processing that, my series is here on one of my playlists, so you can come and have a look at that. It's going to be a 12-part series. I think we're up to chapter 4. So there are plenty more coming of that. And of course, I do have my Heartbreak to Healing series, which is for women whose long-term relationship has ended and who are facing the future in a very uncertain way. And so my Heartbreak to Healing series is also 12 chapters long, and I'm up to chapter 3, I think, on that one. So they get released weekly. I release one of each every week, and of course I do short videos just asking questions and seeing if people can relate to things around those subjects. And I will be writing about being a single mama and also about midlife transition. And if you have any topics that you would like me to cover, if there's anything you think, gosh, Debbie, I would love for you to cover these topics, let me know in the comments. I read them all and I will do my best to bring some of that to you. Like I said, my channel is fairly new and I appreciate all of you coming. It really makes a difference to being able to reach more people, and it really helps me get the word out there. I think life is very hard right now for many people globally, and having a space for community and support and people who are kind and open and gentle and who appreciate that we are all different, but we are all the same. We are all different in all of the things in our life that matter to us. So many different ways, and yet we all have skin and eyes and bones and all of the things that make us human beings. And we have to remember to be kind, and we don't have to all agree on everything, but we can be kind and supportive. We all cry, we all hurt, we all get sad, and it's just really, really important to just be kind to each other. What do you recommend when you're having issues with trust and people even try to come back? I think trust is a muscle like every other muscle in your body. Trusting somebody is about them being able to demonstrate to you over time that they are going to respect your boundaries, that they are going to be predictable, that they are going to show up and do the things they say they're going to do. And so, when people come back into our lives, we set the boundaries that are around what we will not tolerate from people who have hurt us. And then we give them the opportunity. And if they demonstrate to us that they are not trustworthy, we don't trust them. We just don't. And that's unfortunate. But if people are not trustworthy, then they shouldn't be trusted. If they can demonstrate over time in small, manageable ways that, what, I cocked up, I made a mistake, I shouldn't have done that, and I'm deeply sorry, and I want to build trust with you, then I think, give it opportunity. Take care of yourself first. Make sure you look after yourself first. And then let them demonstrate it over time, months and months and months, where you go, what, this person is being really consistent. Judy, tips for when you choose to stay in a relationship after the affair. I'm going to cover that in the After the Affair series. People assume, Judy, that a lot of women assume if he has an affair, I'm going to leave him. And then they're confronted with somebody having an affair and they don't want to leave. There is history and love, deep love. And, when it comes to it, it's that thing about, I don't know if I want to give up on this. I don't know if this is what I want to do. And it's a big process. I think when an affair has happened, though, a couple really need professional help because there's so much to unpack. And, people are wounded and hurt. And I'm about to do some short videos about the man's perspective, which I've never done before, but I work with guys a lot. And some of the intriguing things that they will say to me when their partner's not in the room, like they want to be with their partner, they love their partner, they made a mistake, but they actually love the person they had the affair with, and they are grieving the loss of that relationship, which that's not easy to manage by yourself, and you do need help with that. Some of it is around dealing with issues in the relationship, like they've grown apart, and the man has felt like, you know, he's a walking wallet, and he's not loved or cared for or connected to his partner. And, you know, his affair partner actually met a lot of those needs for him. So going through an affair, if you choose to stay, I think you really need professional support. The After the Affair series is free of charge. It's on my channel, and it walks you through some of the things that you are likely to experience. You know, that initial shock of finding out about it, how it really can do a fair bit of damage to your identity, the way you feel about yourself, the way you see yourself, how it, of course, can completely rock all of the trust and all of the love that's built up over years. You know, so it's a complicated, affairs are complicated. They're not simple. You know, I talk about people who have lots of affairs, not just one, but more. You know, some people are complicit, and some people go, you know, I know they're having an affair. I actually don't care. I'm not interested in being sexual with my partner or intimate with my partner. And as long as it doesn't interfere with our lives, then I'm going to turn my back on it and not see it. So it's complicated. And I really do recommend for people to get support. I do offer one-on-one sessions. I will have my diary put into my shop at some point in time. Reach out to me if you want a one-on-one session, and I can give you the link to my diary. But I think in those situations, you just need somebody to help you walk through that process. It's really, really, really tricky, and painful. And you know, who do you talk to about it? People have very strong opinions. Our friends and family have strong opinions. Maybe we don't want to share it with people. That often happens as well. So it can be a really isolating, very, very challenging, distressing experience. So yeah, I am doing the After the Affair series, so you are welcome to check in on that. I do talk about staying and trying to make the decision about whether you stay or go. So yeah, that will be in that series. Okay, if there are any more questions, hit me up right now, because I'm going to head off on this dreary old day, and get on with some video editing and I finished all my writing for this week, so I'm going to get some videos done and some editing done and some bits and bobs that I've got to get done today. It's like I said, it's a bit wet, so I won't be going into the garden, that's for sure. Maybe just to peep on the seedlings and make sure they're not waterlogged, but that will be about it for me today. I don't think I'll be doing anything else out in the garden. It's too wet. And thank you for ladies for coming along. Thank you for asking your questions. Like I said, give the video a thumbs up. It really helps me. Don't forget to subscribe. It's down the bottom and it's free. You don't have to do anything. Just hit the button and that's it. And of course, hit the little notification bell, and you will then be notified when my videos come out. And of course, you're more than welcome to come and join me here every single Thursday, where we talk about life and what's going on and reflecting on how we cope with what life throws at us. Take care, everybody. I will see you all next week. I hope you have a wonderful week. And if you don't have a wonderful week, I hope you have a tolerable week. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Bye.